George, for the last year you have been the chairman of the Youth Forum of the Kenya National Commission for UNESCO. Maybe you can give us a short description of your work as a chairman.
Thank you. As a chairman, I've been involved in the strategic decision-making of the forum on a day-to-day basis. Apart from that, I've been the source spokesperson for the forum in the various initiatives that we've been taking part. I've been leading in making partnerships with various organizations in the country and without. I have represented the forum at various international fora, and I have also participated in various ministerial and Ministry of Education and policy making organs, so on behalf of the youth. That's the general of it in a nutshell.
Great. So maybe you can give more concrete example for one.
Okay. On a day-to-day basis, I used to assist the Senior Assistant Secretary General of Social and Human Sciences do the tasks that are required that would have a youth focus, especially as concerns UNESCO. And also formulate, like last year we worked on a country position paper, which we presented at the 18th conference of the Commonwealth Education Ministers on behalf of the country. And I've also been involved in collating speeches and developing youth dynamics. For instance, there was a conference last year which was charged with the responsibility of setting a STI agenda for the youth, which was hosted by the African Development Bank and UNESCO in the country, a global conference. And I am happy to have been engaged in the process of developing the speeches for the ministers and the various ministerial briefs. I also participated in the IIEP. There was a policy forum in France on youth, and I participated with the youth office in the development of the material that was going to be reviewed, and the country position paper also concerns that. But on a day-to-day basis, we were doing the basic administrative aspects of the forum, like dealing and convening meetings, setting the agenda. Like last year, the theme was entrepreneurship, where we were partnering with Kenyatta University. And one of the program steps, we were working with the Lufana University of Nuremberg in Germany. I was actually, you would say, quote unquote, the water boy for that, taking care of all the administrative and logistic aspects that were required. So
yeah,
it's
that's
quite
really interesting. A lot of different things to do, right? So what would you say, on average, how many hours per week did you invest in this work, and what was your motivation to invest that time?
There were days we'd leave the place at 9. There are days we leave at 5. So the average would be around 40 hours a week. Yes, because some days we'd come on Saturdays, and then I'd miss some other days, especially when I was engaged elsewhere.
So that's a lot of time. So what was your motivation to invest all this time in this work?
Having begun being a member before I became a chair, a year before, I had the understanding that it's a voluntary aspect. And one of my mantras is that work changes you, work builds you up. It doesn't have to be remunerative. If you put your heart to it, it will come back to you. One will say, give and it shall come back to you. So that is the general thrust of it. So I believe that to the degree I engaged my energies into the task that was ahead of me, to that same degree will it build me up, and will I be a resource to others in the future.
That's interesting. So is there something that you like best about your work? Some sort of highlight or something you want to tell?
For instance, getting to meet new people. I gotten to meet you and every other volunteer came from Germany, and have had a chance to travel to the 18th Conference of Commonwealth Ministers, where I was also elected the chair of the steering committee of the Commonwealth Students Association, which also has its own offshoot of travel and getting to meet other new people and experiencing the world. But that is just one aspect of it. I can actually say the best outcome of such an engagement would be championing the cause of the youth, not just from the street level, but from an intellectual policy making level. And by the engagements and the research documents we've been going through, to prepare the various briefs, I believe that my mind has been molded to have that in mind.
So are there any special skills or traits that a person should have that wants to become elected reforms chairman?
I believe that they must be self-driven and committed to the task. One of the things you find that a chairperson would need to be and to have is a person who's who will focus on his work and will work to accomplish what they promise. Because you set your own metrics, you go to seek your own partnerships, you help set the programs that need to be run, and you are the one who's in charge of the monitoring and the evaluation. If you come and you are swayed and taken away by the red carpet and the flash and the plum opportunities that come along, and your mind is for your own personal benefit, you'll actually miss out. But if you focus on building something that will last for generations, well,
Thank you very much for this conversation.
Thank you, Joanna.